snacks, keeping us warm inside, especially during the holidays. Now, a lot of these treats are coming through the mail these days. In fact, we spend over $5 billion a year on goodies from catalogs and the internet. So we're going to head to Wisconsin to see how one company prepares for this avalanche of, well, orders. The arrival of this catalog has become one of the signs that the holiday season has officially begun. The Swiss colony ships out more than 7 million gifts during their busy season each winter. Not bad for a company that filled just 50 orders its first year.
We started sending postcards via the mail in 1926. We advanced to flyers through the mail in the 30s, and our first catalogs were actually published in the 1940s.
In the 1920s, Ray Kubley founded the Swiss colony in Monroe, Wisconsin, by sending local cheese through the mail. The area is known for its famous cheese and its Swiss ancestry, so the name was a natural. Today, not only does Swiss colonies send their goods, they make them as well. And cheese remains one of the staples. But before it can be shipped out, it has to be taste tested by a master cheese grater.
We're looking for a well-developed, full-flavored cheddar cheese.
After making the grade, the giant cheese blocks are transformed into all sorts of colony creations like classic waxed logs.
A good wax cheese just maintains freshness better.
And savory cheese balls covered in nuts. For softer spreads, cheddar is blended with seasonings and bacon in a machine called a silent cutter. The flavorful mix is then pumped into tubs. Cheese and sausage have always been mainstays of the Swiss colony catalog, but these days, sweets are staking their claim too. One of the colony's most decadent desserts is the petit four. To make these, pans of layer cake are precisely sliced with a high-tech water cutter. That's right, a stream of water no larger than a strand of hair uses 30,000 pounds of pressure to cut the cake into perfectly proportioned pieces.
It's incredible that no moisture actually enters into the cake.
A robot moves the blocks onto a conveyor where they are covered with chocolate in an enrobing machine. The Swiss colony makes more than 65 million petit fours each year, making it one of their most popular items. And another Christmas classic is the gingerbread house.
Some folks just like use those as decorations. They'll put them away in their closet after the holidays and bring them back out next year. And then there's some other folks just can't wait to dig in and use them.
Making a gingerbread house at home can be a major undertaking, but the Swiss colony has gotten it down to a science. All the parts needed for a house are pressed out on what looks like a giant rolling pin covered in cookie cutters. The gingerbread is baked, then the roof gets pressed with shingle shapes, while the walls get a coat of icing. An assembly line of talented decorators put the houses together. First, the walls go up onto a candy-filled form with a dollop of icing acting as cement. The roof is held in place with a wire, and then it gets brushed with snowy-looking icing. Each year, the Swiss colony makes 45,000 of these holiday houses.
Good afternoon, Swiss colony.
These days, the Swiss colony still takes orders by mail, as well as phone and email. After thumbing through the catalog, as many as 59,000 people a day call in orders to their phone center.
Have a nice day.
Once the order has been entered, the Swiss colony elves get busy pulling each item and packaging it for shipping.
On the busiest days here, it's organized bedlam. The phones are ringing off the hook. You have people scurrying about with packs, running in and out of the buildings. It's really exciting.
All so you can have a taste of the holidays delivered directly to your door. And one of the many items that Swiss colony makes every year is this. It's the fruitcake. It's been around as a dessert since the Middle Ages, but if you don't feel like eating this holiday tradition, check out how far you can chuck it, literally. Take a look. Hey, catch! What's tougher than the average baked good is virtually indestructible and can clear vast distances in a single bound is none other than the infamous fruitcake. finally found an unusual way to celebrate the staying power of these petrified projectiles at the 8th annual Fruitcake Toss.
It's just to get people through the end of the holiday season and help get rid of that gift that nobody really wants and doesn't know what to do with.
Besides hurling the clunky cakes, you can appreciate fine art molded from the dense concoctions of scary green cherries, nuts, spices, and brandy. This event even has its own nutty celebrities.
You don't have to be a fruitcake to be here, but it helps.
Strong opinions abound on the subject,
Hard times break your teeth.
as well as a general aversion to the object itself.
Oh, well, you wouldn't touch it with your hands, would you?
And only the very bold eat it. If you didn't bring your own fruitcake, don't worry.
If somebody is fortunate enough not to have been given one, then they can earn a fruitcake for 50 cents.
Participants can take a swing at golf ball-sized fruitcakes,
3, 2, 1, go!
spatula race with the unwieldy slabs, and even build derby race cars out of them. But the main event is the fruitcake toss, both by hand and by catapult, a sport that may have medieval roots.
When the castle or town proved too well defended to storm, they would hurl fruitcake over the wall.
One unspoken rule holds true. The older the fruitcake, the better.
But if you've got a nice, hard, petrified old fruitcake that'll fly away, that's good.
The never-ending shelf life of fruitcake can be attributed to high sugar and low water content, which keeps mold at bay. Whether kids or grown-ups try their hand at flinging fruitcakes, certain strategies help.
Just throw it like a baseball. Just, rear back and let it go.
Experts wrap their musty missiles to keep them intact. Combine that with a strong arm, and you've got a toss that'll give others fruitcake envy. But it's the giant catapults that have the highest expectations.
Theoretically, it should be able to go, I don't know, through that street.
However, there is one caveat.
It's helpful to have a fruitcake that doesn't fly apart when you let go of it. Some of them just disintegrate in the air.
After the cake-filled cannonballs have landed, the champion is named.
And the winner typically gets a T-shirt and bragging rights. That's about it.
For there were bumps and fruits and cherries. There were citrons and raisins and cinnamon trees, nutmeg bones and berries, and apples. If nothing else, one message comes through loud and clear.
I think people just come here to explore creative fruitcake disposal and have a good time.
Still ahead on Wintertime Treats Unwrapped, learn how many noodles make it into Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup. And top it off with a place made for grilled cheese connoisseurs when we come back.